we had to very much rely on the expertise resident within Cisco. And across Cisco's supply chain, we've got a couple different organizations where we've got some very deep subject matter experts. They're not only in our global sourcing management group, the group that is responsible for building the relationship and setting the contractual framework, if you will, with our suppliers. But we also have a group called Technology and Quality that is really our deep subject matter experts that really know the commodity spaces very well, whether it's semiconductor or discrete electronic components that not only know our tier one, but also our sub tier as well. And what we were able to do, and again, this was very much on an emergency basis, as we pulled together our map and began to assess the impacts, is that we had to pull on this community and bring them into the war room to say, hey, listen, there's a lot of sort of blind spots that we have, and we're really concerned that we've missed something in our business continuity planning as we set up what we think is going to be the impacts. And from this group of experts that not only know the commodity spaces but also know the players and have contacts in these companies, we're essentially able to lock them into a conference room with a whiteboard and have them map out at a very granular level, if you will, what some of our sub-tier looked like. And then, from those maps, we were able to start reaching out to some of our sub-tiers directly or through some of our tier one suppliers as well to really assess, okay, what are the things that we don't know? So for instance, I'll give you an example. You take a look at the sub-tier within our overall supply chain. The example I'm using here is a very complex product, Cisco optical services router. This is something of the order of a couple $100,000 that we sell to service providers. Now we're sourcing line cards and discrete components from our tier ones, but if you start backing up into tier 2, tier 3, tier N, you start getting into assemblies, into discrete components, into actual raw materials. And because we don't deal with a lot of those suppliers on a direct contractual basis, simply because we work through them through our directs, we don't have a whole lot of visibility into those suppliers. And a lot of those suppliers actually resided in Japan. There's a lot of very highly engineered commodities that have a deep supply chain in Japan, particularly Northeast Japan, where we had the impact. And through bringing in these subject matter experts and then working through our existing partners, we're able to begin to map this out and then really query that sub-tier as to what their impacts were. And, for instance, this is just a map of a single commodity space. I think it's optical. You can see that the picture that we put together just for our direct suppliers was complex enough. And then you start parsing that into different commodities and you start getting a whole host of different pictures like this. And that's where the complexity really came into play. But again, using this framework that we had around kind of low impact to high impact, and then the fact that we were able to basically organize kind of sub-war rooms that focused on commodities and get these subject matter experts together, we're able to begin to mitigate those risks that at the very beginning we didn't have visibility into, but within a week or two we had very good visibility into, and we're able to start figuring out whether, okay, there is no risk, let's not worry about it, or there is a risk and we're going to go mitigate it. So I guess to your point, you can rely on systems and data as much as you think it's complete and accurate, but in the end it's a lot of just elbow grease and getting the right people in a room and getting a framework that you can trust, and then beginning just to work through the very challenging part of dialing and talking to suppliers on the ground and beginning to really mitigate things as they occur.